John Chmaj is the Senior Director of KM Strategy at Verint, and he's worked for over 30 years in the field of KM in many organizations, including Microsoft, Lotus, Cana, Nova, Primus, and the Consortium for Service Innovation. He's worked in all phases of the customer support process, including telephone and online support, technical writing, and KM. His primary interest is in the effective creation and use of support knowledge to improve the customer experience and optimize the support process. Please welcome John Chmaj.
Thank you, Jan.
We do have 15 minutes, don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Hey, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. You look so beautiful. This is great. I can honestly not remember how long I've been coming to KM World. At least 10 years. As Jane introduced me, I like to tell the youngins I've been doing KM since before there was an internet. And that gets them thinking. So as Jane mentioned, I'm the Director of Knowledge Management Strategy for Verint. And Verint is a software company that makes a lot of applications for the support and service environment. Call recording, quality management, speech analytics, voice of the customer, all kinds of great ways to optimize the way support agents and self-service customers help themselves. And we've come into the AI space and we've developed a strategy for managing what we see as the upcoming complexity and variety of AI applications. And I thought it'd be useful to you to share a little bit of that. This is not a product pitch, but to illustrate my points, I'm going to show a few pieces of product. And luckily for you, I only have 15 minutes, so off we go. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what the business problem is we're trying to solve. One piece of research that's particularly compelling is organizations have learned that they can't hire their way out of their support, of their staffing issues, right? You can't really spend your way out of it. Interestingly to note, if you look at that little circle chart, it's not showing up here. I've got CX automation. Oh, I need the clicker. All right, here we go. Let's see how we did. Good. Hey, all right. I wasn't at Woodstock, but I had the LP. So there you go. My parents were hip. So the only thing I want to point out is we're spending a lot of time on a lot of money on software, at least in support organizations, but they have tens of thousands of support agents. They're spending a lot of money on that, $2 trillion. And you can't hire your way into delivering a better customer experience. So we're going to talk about what we've been trying to do to engender what we call CX automation. The problem is there is an engagement capacity gap. The customer expectations and what they want us to do in terms of personalization, accuracy, availability on every channel with our knowledge is not going to meet our budget capabilities. So how are we going to close that gap? And one of the interesting things about KM is it actually has that capacity. You can deliver knowledge. I love to say it's not a zero-sum game. If I know something and I tell it to all of you, now you all know it and I haven't lost anything. That's the fundamental value prop in my view of knowledge management. And so you can, and then if you deliver the right knowledge in the right channel, in the right format, at the right time, you reduce cost, people get their answer faster, you're more efficient, ideally you're improving your quality all at the same time. I call that the win-win-win, right? And so how are we going to get to that, right? So AI has, as evidenced by this conference, we've changed how knowledge management is done, right? There's a quote that in 2026, more than 80% of enterprises will have used generative AI. That's kind of obvious, but that means that the fulcrum will shift to organizations having to figure out how to manage this stuff, right? Before, we were using AI to drive intelligent searches, and we still are, right? But there's a whole other set of applications about to taking place now around auto-summarization, content suggestion, search augmentation, CX automation, data, you name it. You go on the trade show floor this week, you see all kinds of applications, and we're just getting started. We know that, right? Next year, KM World is going to look different. It looks a lot different than last year, anybody that was here last year, and it's really interesting to think about what's going to happen as this really saturates the market. What are my customers going to do when they have 20 AI applications? Or 100. They're going to have it. It's going to come. Are they going to manage those as point solutions? Are they going to figure out how to coordinate their data? There's a lot of things that are going to arise very quickly as they start to implement this stuff. You know, we're living in sort of the magic age of anything is possible. And then as we settle in, how do we put AI at the fingertips of the people that need to use it? It's a critical problem in the support organization because the support organization has a very specific mandate. I've got 5 minutes to talk to you on the phone. Inside that 5 minutes, I've got about 1 minute to get you the right answer. And the right answer is not the answer slightly to the left. You asked about X, I have to give you X. And so we have a pretty tight spec of putting stuff in people's hands. So what have we done about it? We've built a platform. It's not like a technology, it's sort of an infrastructure that you can use, what we call open CCAS, where you can populate all your applications, your own, some of ours, into a platform that actually allows you to integrate your knowledge at the right time, in the right channel, with the right tool. And we use that open CCAS platform to populate all the applications in there. We have 40 lines of product, so you can mix and match what you want. You can bring your own tools to the party. And at the center of this is this notion of DaVinci AI. And we call it DaVinci, you gotta have something smart, right? But DaVinci is actually a workspace, if you will, for all of our researchers who've spent years already developing AI applications to work on it in a common way that can be vended across various applications. So when you enter into this platform, you get advantage of the DaVinci research that's ongoing to add new capabilities as AI tools advance, to help you with all that kind of information. And so that capability is really powerful because it allows companies to leverage AI in their business workflows. So one of the things that we have a leg up on is Verint's been recording conversations and interactions of agents for 25 years. We've got 9 billion call records. We've got 120 million IVA sessions. We do voice of the customer. We've got 300 million surveys. So we have some of that rich domain-specific data that we're building our models off of. So this is very exciting. And just that, you can gather data from all kinds of places. And of course, the challenge with gathering that data is you've got all kinds of stuff. A little bit of what we heard about in the last bit, right? You've got operational analytics, workforce performance, real-time insights, knowledge use reports. How are you going to bring all that stuff together, right? And so part of what you can do, sorry, I'm running behind the slide. I've got 2 decks going. I've got to watch my brain this way. So this data is, the challenge is how do you rationalize all that? How are you going to bring that all in some reusable way where you can blend it and enrich it? And that's what this data hub aims to do. So you've got these business workflows, and you want to capture stuff from your interactions with your agents. You want to capture stuff from some of your quality management tools. You've got your knowledge base and what it does. You've got all kinds of workforce management, the call recording I was talking about, right? And so lots of data can populate this environment. And of course, you have to have a really strong set of security and non-biasing and compliance tools. We have a whole strategy on that. I could spend a whole day on that. And then on top of that, there has to be some sort of cross-functional integration reporting tool that gives you insights across all those dimensions. But the cool thing there, as many of you know, is I can now look at data across different applications. The one thing my customers want to know is, how much is my knowledge solving problems? First thing I want to know is my knowledge lowering my handle time for my agents. Sounds simple, easy to sell to management, ridiculously hard to prove. So how am I going to prove it? Well, if I can correlate my CRM call management stats with how people use knowledge, I have a leg on it now. I can get at it. So this is some really powerful stuff. You can collaborate on the data with colleagues. You can export and share dashboards. You can even talk to it in natural language, which I think is like the coolest thing. You've got business users that want to use this. You don't need BI experts trying to send you reports. I don't know if you guys had, I had that years ago. We had 2 BI experts, and they'd come and bring the data like it was on a cart and tell people what it was all about. Now you can have business users using data, and not just one channel, but all the channels across their support organization if they integrate this into the data hub. So this is a really powerful situation. Now I want to talk about my friends, the bots. So how do we stitch AI to our applications? We've approached it as, let's just create individual operations called bots that have AI, they might have some machine learning or some automation in them, and then you apply them to the application you need. This way I can continue to optimize the bot and not screw up where I've implemented it, but actually enrich it as the bot grows in sophistication. And so there's all kinds of specialized bots. I'm sorry, see, I should just look at this. Okay, I'm trying to look at my time. That's what I'm trying to do, be polite. But okay, we got these bots, and we've got all kinds of them. There's a containment bot, there's a knowledge creation bot that helps, auto summarization. Some of you guys are, I'm sure, doing that now. Knowledge suggestion, which automates how people, can get the right answer while they're working. And then here's a quick example of how the bot might work in auto summarization. Somebody finds an article that's too long or complex, they send it, they'd be able to select it in their product. They're not going off to some AI application. As they select it, the GPT brings back the summary, and now they can rewrite their article. Nothing you guys haven't seen this year at the trade show, but it's really powerful because it's in the author's workflow. So now we're starting to merge AI with actual business workflow. Same with this auto-suggestion bot. The notion of the auto-suggestion bot is I'm working on a case in one of my call management tools. The knowledge is changing as I work. We also link that to the speech analytics product. The speech stream, the ontology of the speech, has triggers that get fired so that as the customer is talking to me, the knowledge is showing up. Think how that helps new hires or people that don't quite know what to say or people that need a very particular answer you want them to give. So there's a whole lot of interesting power with that. And so we've propagated the bots across our platform. We got 40 of them now. By next year, we'll have at least double that. And that allows us to mix and match where we want these things to go and manage the technology in a central way. So that as these bots and these AI capabilities proliferate, and there's a lot more across our product suite, we can do that. And so how does this work as a general business process? Well, AI is, for our analogy, the bot factory. It's where we make these things and we propagate them for reuse across products. And remember I said it's not just Verint products. We can start to instantiate some of this stuff in your stuff. Because nobody has one product anymore. They have all different flavors of things and different. I've got one customer who's got 4 CRM systems, right? I got to be able to make sure all that stuff works. And then the data hub, our CEO likes to call it the bot gym, and he has a graphic of bots working out, which is a little creepy. So we'll just call it where the bots get stronger, where they learn, where they expand their capabilities, and where they can provide new features back to the applications they engage with. And then finally, the workflows are where they match. If there's one thing that you might get out of this today, which maybe you already know, but if you don't, I want to tell you, you have to think about AI in terms of the thing you needed to do at the moment of your workflow, not just as a technology. AI is part of your business process. It's not part of your technology stack. The bots have a purpose and they have a reason for being. And so really, once you're able to stitch all this together, you can focus on delivering the front end, your greater customer experience, greater UX, because now you're leveraging elements of personalization and intelligence and learning in each of the applications with the bots that you choose to enable. The Open CCaaS platform is open. You can bring your own telephony, your own other tools to the party, and then integrate and coordinate all of that AI and applications and the data into that piece. And then automation and intelligence through the bots links all your stuff to the AI capabilities. And this data hub, which might be arguably the killer app of this whole thing, I don't know how many of you can rationalize all the content sources in an organization into one schema, or at least a coordinated schema, and then build a reporting insights tool on top of it that could be using natural language. I think that's pretty hot, personally, having spent 20 years trying to convince my customers how to use data. So this is the Open CCaaS platform. We're excited about it. I think you're all going to start thinking about this stuff as you propagate your AI applications. So I encourage you to think about how am I going to sort this relevantly, and how am I going to manage through it. That will probably be what a lot of us are talking about next year. Thank you very much.